the DB Class V 200. Now there's a locomotive that deserves proper recognition. A machine that didn't just haul trains, it symbolized an entire era of technological resurgence in post-war Germany. Let's take a proper look at this remarkable piece of engineering from its conception to its enduring legacy. Following the devastation of the Second World War, the newly formed Deutsche Bundesbahn found itself in urgent need of modern motive power. Steam was still dominant, but the future was undoubtedly diesel. And for express services, that future arrived in the form of the V200. The first prototypes emerged in 1953, built by Krauss-Maffei, and entered service in 1956. These were no ordinary diesels. With their twin V12 engines, typically Maybach MD 650s or Mercedes-Benz MB 820s, each machine delivered over 2,000 horsepower via hydraulic transmission, a bold move in a world still wedded to diesel-electric systems. This was Germany's first serious foray into mainline diesel hydraulic traction, and it set the tone for decades to follow. The V200 was intended primarily for express passenger work on unelectrified routes, services such as Hamburg to Westerland or Munich to Lindau. And it did so in style. Capable of 140 kilometers per hour, it was fast, smooth, and striking to look at, with a curved, modernist body that spoke of progress and confidence. It was also equipped with steam heating, allowing it to haul conventional coaching stock without issue. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the V200 sat proudly at the top of the DB's diesel roster. It replaced many of the older Pacific Steam locomotives like the 01 and 03 classes, and it did so with aplomb. For many, it was the very embodiment of modern German railways. But, as with so many first-generation diesel designs, time wasn't entirely on its side. The dual-engine configuration, while offering redundancy and reliability, also brought with it higher maintenance costs. And the steam heating, once a benefit, soon became a limitation as electric train heating became the standard. By the mid-1960s, newer, more efficient designs were beginning to take over. The V160 family, single-engined, simpler, and cheaper to maintain, quickly gained favour. The V200.1 subclass, later known as Class 221, attempted to improve upon the original design, but the writing was already on the wall. So, was the V200 a success? From an engineering standpoint, absolutely. It proved the viability of diesel hydraulic power on mainline services. It was a bold, confident design, and it worked. Operationally, however, it was something of a transitional locomotive, caught between the decline of steam and the full electrification of Germany's core network. But it was loved, and not just by railwaymen. Enthusiasts admired its powerful presence, its unmistakable sound, and its contribution to Germany's post-war railway identity. It even influenced locomotive design abroad, particularly the British Railways warship class, which borrowed heavily from the V200's layout and philosophy. Withdrawals began in earnest in the late 1970s, and by 1984, the class was gone from regular DB service. But that wasn't the end. A number were sold abroad, to Spain, Italy, Greece, even Saudi Arabia, and continued working into the 1990s and beyond. Others were preserved by museums and heritage railways. Today, over 24 survive, many in operational condition. V200 number 001, the very first, is under restoration at the Franconian Museum Railway. Other examples, like V200 number 017 and V200 number 053, remain in mainline condition and are regularly seen on charter work or special events. They're not just static exhibits, they're living, breathing reminders of an important chapter in railway history. And here's a question worth pondering. If the V200 had been built with electric train heating and a more modular engine layout, would it have lasted longer in frontline service? Quite possibly. But even with its shortcomings, it more than earned its place in the pantheon of great European locomotives. In the end, the V200 wasn't just a locomotive, it was a symbol of recovery, of engineering ambition, and of a railway system embracing the future while shedding the past. And for that, it will always hold a special place in the hearts of railway enthusiasts across the continent. If you've enjoyed this in-depth look at the V200, please do give this video a like, share it with fellow railway fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more expert commentary and nostalgic journeys through railway history. And let us know in the comments, have you ever seen a V200 in action? Or better yet, ridden behind one? We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, stay on the rails.